everybody, and welcome to this short time lapse. I've taken the image myself, so you can see it's very bad. You've got a little bit of my paint table at the bottom. Basically laid out this cutlery on a piece of copier paper on my wooden table. That's it, and took a few photos. Now, for me, it was about the sparkle on the cutlery and the shadow that was being cast on the surface. And I knew because of the coral orange handle of the knife that I wanted the shadows to take on quite a purple hue. So that was the whole inspiration for doing this piece. I'm working on the Canson velvet paper here, which I really enjoy. It's fun to work on. I would say though that you do need a layer or two of pastel, because it's like a sanded paper, but it's obviously not as gritty as a sanded paper, but it's not as smooth as pastel matte. So I find if I've only got one layer of pastel on there, when I start to rub in with my fingers, it's got like a resistance that feels a bit weird. I don't really like that. So I've got to have, at least a layer or two of pastel on there. So I'm painting quite small. It's only 20 centimeters by 23 centimeters. So it's quite true to the realistic size in real life, what the fork and the knife were. I did make an adjustment. The knife is very long compared to the fork and the spoon, so I actually shortened my butter knife in my painting. But using a lot of different colors when it comes to the actual stainless steel. I'm using pinks because we've got a bit of reflection bouncing around the room because of my lighting, as well as the coral handle on the butter knife. But I'm using greens. There's a lot of greens, like khaki greens, that's been picking up also on the atmosphere, what's around. I've got a lot of greenery in this room, so that is coming through in the actual cutlery. Using pastel pencils, like I said, I'm painting quite small, so the pastel pencils work amazingly because obviously you've got those nice small nibs on there, so you can really work details. So the important thing, I'll just talk about the shadows for a second here. It's got to be very soft. The edges must be soft. And also make sure you go dark enough to just rub and rub to create that smooth, out of focus look. Your shadows really have to be seamless, and there's got to be a faded effect. Like if you have a look at the reference photograph, the edges of the shadow are kind of like blurry. So that is really important. Over here, I completely knocked my camera without realizing it. Sorry, so the angle here is horrendous. One of the little mistakes whilst I'm pasteling away, not realizing my camera's off into space. Sorry about that. But you can still sort of see what I'm doing, using a whole mixture of oranges, brick reds, as well as coral colors to get some definition on the handle of the knife. Not just a flat orange color, not just one tonal value, otherwise you're going to create flatness, which is not what I want in my work. So I've got dark tones there, mid-tones, 2 or 3 different types of midtones, as well as a lighter tone of orange. Like I said, in the shadows, using quite a lot of purple grays. I want to continually think about my color scheme of being the purples and the oranges, and then like olive greens, khaki greens. You can see me using here. It's a gray, but it definitely has got green tones in it. Again with this paper, the Canson velvet, lots of going over edges. I find it's easier to get a clean edge on a pastel matte paper. The Canson takes a few more goes to fill in all the ridges of the paper so that you've got a nice smooth edge. So it just takes a little bit of working if that's what you want. Now, because this is so definite, we've got man-made objects sitting on a plain background. My edges have really got to be nice, neat and crisp. So also a lot of focus is going onto my edges and what are they looking like, and you'll see me going over and over the edge several times before it gets to a place that I'm happy with the edge. There's got to be a hard edge here. It's really important. You can check this out over on Real Time on my Patreon. I've got quite a lot of demos there now, all different subjects, from wildlife to still life to interiors, to fruit, floral. So you can check me out. I'll leave a link in the description below. But I've got a few seconds here, but I'm going to leave you now on this one, and I shall see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.